to the Valley High School Podcast. Today, I'm here with the math teacher, algebra teacher, the Valley football coach, and the chess coach at Valley High School here. And they came off their win last week against Wagner, 40-34. How are you doing, Mr. Hennig?
I'm doing wonderful. Happy to be here.
Yes, I'm happy to be here too. And I just wanted to have you on to talk about your victory over Wagner last week and some of your thoughts about it. And I know that was a game that was very hard fought. It was a very hard fought game. And it was, you said triple overtime?
Triple overtime, yes.
Wow. And so what does that mean for people who don't know football?
In high school football, you don't get to end the game on a tie.
Okay.
So at the end of regulation, if it's tied, you have to play. Each team gets a set of downs from the 10-yard line. And then they just continues that way until everybody has the same amount of time and everybody has the same amount of possessions. And if you ever end up with a lead, then you end up winning. So we were in the third overtime.
Wow.
And that's very unusual. Usually it ends pretty quickly. So 3 overtimes is very unusual in high school sports.
Wow. And so you would say it was an even game against Valley and Wagner?
There was a lot of pluses and a lot of give and takes. They started off and took an early 8-0 lead. Looked a little bit frustrating. But then we scored the next 20 points.
Wow. And how did that happen? No.
Well, we drove the ball a few times and scored and things, but then there was one time where we were down on our 1-yard line. We had a great interception by Josh Coggins, and we ran a couple plays still on the third down from the 1-yard line, and called timeout. So we went out there, and Tweezer says, "Hey, give me the ball," and Logan's like, "Well, run behind me." And Logan's been always like that. It's always like, "Hey, let's do this right here." And so we ran a play that goes right there behind Logan. Logan pulls, and Tweezy made the right cut, and they cut all the way back. And next thing you know, 99 yards later, he's in the end zone. We're up 20-8. And for those who may not know, a 99-yard run is the longest you can get in football.
Yeah.
So it is a high school record.
Wow.
Not just state, but you can't get any longer than that.
For Valley or for
anybody.
Wow.
You can't get longer than a 99-yard run and touchdown run.
Because that's the entire field.
That's the entire field.
The whole entire field.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm going to be talking to Tweezy later on because I know he is very impressive, especially on your team. And so you said the score was 20-8?
At that point, 20-8.
Okay. And what quarter was it?
That was in the second quarter. We had 3 minutes to go.
Okay.
And if we could escape that quarter at 20-8 at halftime, we would have felt really good. But Wagner responded really well.
Yeah.
Came down and they scored. And then so at halftime, we're still up 6. But in the third quarter, they scored again. And in the fourth quarter was give and take a little bit. And they had a chance. They threw the ball up into the end zone on a Hail Mary, and we were able to knock it down and send it in overtime, 20-20.
And what is Wagner's play style?
They changed. They changed quite a bit because they saw some of our weaknesses, so they went to exploit it. They either ran it really in tight and just dove the ball in the middle, or they spread everybody out and tried to run straight down the middle. Also, still, they had their quarterback really had a great game. Number 7 for them was really solid.
And what position did he play?
The quarterback and the fullback. Number 7 played fullback some, and he also played some tight end. So they moved him around a lot, and he was instrumental to them getting their first 20 points.
Right. And so it is now overtime.
Yes.
Valley and Wagner. And what happens?
Overtime. First overtime, they get the ball. They score pretty quickly, get a 2-point conversion, and 8 points in an overtime is very difficult to overcome.
Wow.
Because they've done everything they're supposed to do. So we have to be perfect.
You get the maximum amount of points really on an offense.
Yes.
8 is the most you can get.
Yep. And we run the ball, and then Tweezy's able to or we get it back down there into close to the end zone again, and we score again. And then we go for 2, where we ran a formation that we haven't ran all year. It's called Beast. It's a very unusual formation.
Can you describe that?
We just basically put everybody on the right side. Usually you keep everything balanced, but we just said, well, you're probably not ready for it, so we're going to put everybody on the right side and we got the 2-point conversion. And so that was really good. And so now we're at the end of the first overtime, 28-28.
Wow. Like I said, this is a very hard-fought game. And so that second overtime, and you're 28-28. Both teams have scored the maximum amount of points they can score, and Wagner has the ball. What happens?
Second overtime, actually, we get the ball because it alternates. So we get the ball first. And Josh runs a counter. They kind of blow up. They pay attention to number 10. Every time Josh has the ball, everybody pays attention to them. And so he gets it. He bounces to the outside. He gets in the end zone. And then we run a wedge play with Christian, who has 3 touchdowns over the course of the year with this one play. And we feel still to this day that he got the 2-point conversion because he landed on the goal line.
Yeah.
Referee didn't see it that way. The film and ourselves saw it that way.
Okay.
And so but then they scored. And so then it came down to, again, a crucial play from the 3-yard line, and we stopped them. So here we are now, 34-34 on the end zone, or on going in third overtime.
So third overtime, 34-34.
Mm-hmm.
And you have an incredible game, 99-yard touchdown. You have Christian, just doing what Christian does, really.
Doing what Christian does.
And who has the ball?
They get the ball first.
Right. So,
and we have a freshman, Lonzel, that gets a pass interference, puts the ball on the 5. Questionable pass interference. And then they get a ball, they run a ball. So now it's 2nd down and 2 from the 2.
Okay.
That's tough. It's tough to stop somebody from the 2-yard line.
Wow.
And then we're a blitzing team, and our strong safety was locked on to somebody. So he kind of looked back and told our free safety, Samuel, hey, maybe you should start blitzing. And
the whole team is blitzing now.
Well, we got a lot of blitzes. We're on the 2. We don't have anything else to do.
Yeah.
So Samuel starts blitzing, and he never hits anybody, but he annoys the quarterback. That the quarterback tucks and takes off running to the side, and then Joe Williams comes up and cuts him down on the 3-yard sack. It was really good. And then the next play, again, we're blitzing. Samuel's coming on that side, so the quarterback has to lob that ball, and we almost tipped it, but he threw it so fast that Lonzel had a good coverage, so it went out of bounds. And then last play, again, blitzing coming in his face. He tries to hit that same slant pattern that was a pass interference, and Josh tips the ball, and Lonzel comes up and knocks the rest of it out of the way, and so now we get the ball.
Yeah.
All we have to do is score. And so I run over to the sideline. I'm like, hey, give me the kicking team, because we've kicked field goals, extra points with David Van Arsdale. Okay. Excellent player, good kicker, plays soccer, does everything. So I put that in my back pocket saying, hey, if we're going to do this, we're going to do this.
Right. It's a risk, though.
It is a risk, but we were going to say, let's get 2 plays in and see what happens. First play, again, we followed Logan, and everybody else. Probably the best blocked play that we've had all year. Everybody did their role. There's always something that can go wrong with 10 people blocking, 1 person carrying, all kinds of things can go wrong. Everybody did what they were supposed to do, and Tweezer practically went untouched for the 10 yards, and there you go.
First
game over.
Down. Yeah.
Game over.
He
got an end zone.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. And so Tweezer has been a playmaker.
Yes. We have some playmakers. Tweezer's definitely one of them.
And so is Josh. Yeah, Christian you were talking about, Lorenzo. And there's a lot of students there to highlight, talk about. And I'm going to talk to Tweezer soon. But after that just really tough win, talking about 3 overtimes, team going back and forth, how was the reaction? What was the reaction? Like, what was the feeling in that moment?
Tweezer hit his knees, to give thanks where he needed to give thanks.
Wow.
And the whole team was excited. We all got together. And then I had made a promise, lost a bet to my son, saying that there'll be a time this year that I would hit the gritty. And Javion worked with me, and a few other people worked with me, and things like that. So I was like, hey, now's the time.
Mm-hmm.
So saw somebody dumping some water and stuff, so I started to get in the position to hit the gritty, and next thing I know, I've got an ice bath on top of me, and I wasn't ready for that.
No.
So now I've got the ice bath, and I'm hitting the gritty. I think that should be a new TikTok sensation. We should probably do that. Everybody ice bath gritty. But I hit the gritty and the best that I can at my tender old age, and we're just having a good time.
I thought they just did it to Tweezer. I didn't know they were going to do it to him.
Sorry, I can't be your man. I'm sorry, ship, fan. I get bread, all these bands. I was 7 years old, on God, I knew I was the man.